guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. This is LASFS The Panel Continues, and I have with me Steve Wheeler, who has made the journey all the way from New Zealand, just came in yesterday, so thank you so much for coming in, for coming right over to LASFS.
Well, thank you very much for saying, hey, please come and talk to us.
Yeah, well, I've been doing this interview series, and it's always great to see what different authors are doing, and especially ones with such cool projects as yourself. So you have a lot of materials out here. Do you want to tell us a bit about A Fury of Aces and what you're doing with that?
I'm on a roller coaster.
Okay.
I'm having a huge amount of fun.
Okay.
I turned 60 last year. I've been working on this for 10 years. I've got a team of guys and designers and contributors spread right around the globe, and we are having fun to an immense degree. And can I tell you what we're actually doing?
Yeah, please.
Oh yeah.
Well, I took this whole project to the New Zealand Film Commission. Peter Jackson is aware of it. Mr. Taylor and crew are aware of it. Everybody in New Zealand is aware of it. And they said, hey, Steve, this is just far too big for New Zealand. You have to take it to America. And of course, the first question was, hey, this is cool. Can you help me? No.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't say no, they just said no.
Yeah.
They were a little bit more polite. But that's cool, that's fine. Because what it is A Fury of Aces is all about examining how we as humans are going to move out into the cosmos, and how we as humans are going to evolve, and why. And one very, very interesting thing that's come out of it is an attitude of, if we don't change, if we don't re-establish village, and that we need to start actually looking after each other and stop putting a value on everything. Okay?
Okay.
And I mean, I'm a writer, there's 4 books published, HarperCollins picked them up. There's a lovely, very, very funny story about that. I was given a name.
Okay.
Right? One of the publishers at HarperCollins, and this was back in 2010.
Yeah.
Okay? I had written a book, and it was called A Fury of Aces. And the whole A Fury of Aces thing is exactly the same as, you know, a Wise of Owls and all those sorts of things. There's some lovely name for it, but I'm not wonderfully intellectual. I just, you know, hey, you know, there's a lovely name. Somebody will tell me. What is it? Somebody, but anyway, don't worry about it. So it's called A Fury of Aces. So the whole thing is an examination of where we actually need to be, and the changes that we're going to go through, because of course artificial intelligence will come to pass, and my belief of it is that we're actually a very, very long way away from it. We are probably maybe 15 to 20 years away before it actually starts.
Before the singularity?
Yeah, I really do. Because it's very, very difficult from everything that I've read, and I read and absorb, and I've been reading science fiction since I was about that tall. Okay?
Yeah.
My dad loved science fiction, marine engineer, brought up in a family as an engineer, okay? Never went home after school, went to the workshop.
Okay.
Okay? So making stuff is kind of in my blood. It has been that way always. And of course, another fascinating thing about me is I was brought up on a place called West Shore Beach in Napier in New Zealand. Okay? And there was the house, the road, and the beach, and a long, long way away was the horizon. And I grew up seeing the horizon every single day.
Wow.
Okay?
That's incredible.
And that's a different mindset. That means that there's no limitations, there's no wall, you know?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things of when I'm talking to people, and I talk to them and say, you know, where do you live and what's your circumstance or whatever, and I'm saying that they're basically living in a box in suburbia, and all they see is walls.
Yeah.
And I think, whoa, how difficult that must be for their subconscious and their conscious and their psyche to actually be able to look past that. Now, of course, a lot of us do, because of the way that we are structured as a species. We're structured as a species to evolve, to move forward, to challenge, and to look beyond the wall. But the problem that I see in the current society is that we have entrapped ourselves inside the wall, and we're calling the wall money. Okay? So we've got to try and break away from this. You know, will that ever happen? No. But when the singularity arrives, it's going to massively change things. And I believe that the singularity will arrive when, as the Chinese are doing now, and some quite frightening stuff coming out of there, where they will actually introduce a biological ethic. Okay? So, and the type of consciousness will basically be a biologically evolved consciousness. So what I did in the stories is I created the aces. Now it says a fury of aces. Now the aces are artificially created entities. And in the stories, in the very first book, Burnt Ice, one of the guys on board, one of my heroes is a guy called Marco Spitz. Now his matriarchal line are makers. Okay, because in the books, in the stories, it's a really even, hard 50-50 split, woman and men. One of the editors of the first book didn't like the fact that I had so many female characters.
Okay.
Yeah. Nuts,
Probably
right?
the only person thinking
like,
that right now.
What? And her attitude,
Okay.
was, you have too many women in here, I need to see a lot more, another more strong male. So I really, can I swear?
Yeah.
Okay. I really pissed her off because I took one of the male characters and feminized the character and put it back in, and she evidently went absolutely ballistic and started throwing the manuscript down. But hey, not my problem, all right? So, but that's a lovely thing. You know, when you're an author, you build the sandpit.
Okay.
Okay? And because I'm ex-military and an engineer, and I got a really, can I say fun?
Yeah, of course.
I got a really fucked up brain.
Okay.
Okay? It's
a lot of writers do, so it's a common thread we've seen.
It's ridiculous. It bounces all over the place. But I have so much fun in creating the sandpit.
Yeah.
And when you're in the military, and I was an officer, you have what's called a thing called a toot. Okay? A toot. A toot is what is a tactical exercise without troops. Right? And you're given what's termed as a white sheet. And the white sheet is super cool because on the white sheet is what you have got available to you. And you can't go outside the white sheet. And often we would have these officers who have worked for an entire day on this beautiful presentation that they had to give all the officers in the battalion, including the CO, and probably the CO's boss as well. One of the generals would come in. And he would say, and then I bring in an airstrike. And there'd be deathly silence through the room until one of the bosses stood up and said, "Did you not read the white sheet, Lieutenant? Sir, you have no fricking aircraft." Oh. So as an author, what I have to do is create that white sheet.
Okay.
So I drew out the white sheet of Fury of Aces. And the things with the Fury of Aces is it's got to have hooks. Yeah. It's got to have nasty things in it. It's got to have consequences. It's got to have things that are going to bite you in the ass. Yeah. Somewhat sadly. Yeah. And somewhat seriously. Yeah. And one of the things I did was, in the conflicts, I gave all operational, in some respects, operational control, but certainly operational oversight to the media. Okay. And I created a group called the Games Board. Okay. And the Games Board, if you and I are two corporations and we're having a stoush over the fact that we've found an enormous platinum deposit somewhere and we both want it, right? Yeah. We go to the Games Board and we say, we have a conflict. And the Games Board says, okay, this is good TV. And this is how I think about it, because it gets really, really cynical. But it's also got this part of the hook. And the Games Board looks at the conflict and says, right, you can use World War II equipment, and this is set 500 years in the future, and we will give you, one group will give you Focke-Wulfs, and the other group will give you Spitfires, and we'll give you Sherman tanks, and we'll give you Panzers, and all those other bits and pieces. But the soldiers, all of them, the combatants, are all fitted with a Soul Saver. Now the Soul Saver is a piece of tech. Ian Banks, and there's quite a few of the other authors over time have examined the whole aspects of a device that can record your sentience. And right throughout the storylines, the main crews, because they are soldier engineers, yeah, are all fitted with the Soul Savers. Now, of course, the Soul Savers are a very, very, very high piece of tech because they are recording you constantly and uploading it constantly.
So if you die, you can
regenerate. Okay. So
regenerate as an organic being, or are you in a tech body?
Here's a wee bite. Right. If you're desperately needed on the battlefield,
yeah,
your commander can go to the games board and request that you be uploaded into a chassis. Now, chassis in the stories is basically a full-blown mechanical cyborg.
Okay.
But if you're a cyborg, no eating, no sleeping, certainly no sex, right? And it's a cold, hard, metallic existence until you can actually get into what we call the tank.
Yeah.
And in the tank, you, as part of the games board contract, are attached to your zygote, right? Your Soul Saver is attached to the zygote, and you're put into a tank, and now here's the wee hook. For 365 days, you've got to stay awake because you consciously have to regrow you.
Oh, okay.
Nasty. Now you imagine.
That's strange. Okay,
you imagine
so
the horror.
You can become a baby.
Yeah. But you've got to regrow you. Now, of course, the lovely part of it is that if you've got a really strong personality, if you want to, you can come out 50 millimeters taller. You can actually take charge of you being regrown. Right.
Strange.
Interesting. But it makes it cool.
Yeah.
And it gives it a little hook.
Make it cool.
And it makes it so.
So how many people are?
Well, the combatants have all got Soul Savers.
Yeah.
So they are then contracted to the administration, right, which is based on the American administration, and also to the Games Board, and also to another group called the Yombics, which are the mercenary corporations. So the mercenary corporations supply the troops to the Games Board decides where the conflict is going to be, and then the conflict is then parcelled up and sold as television.
Okay.
Okay. So what we've got is we've got a group of soldier engineers right through the stories who are part of that structure, also wanting to make changes for themselves, also some of them trying to get back to a normal life, or what we term as a normal lifestyle, but they're actually experiencing as things are going through what their reality actually is. And if they get really, really badly shot up, they go into the tank. And they won't be seen for a year until they come back as themselves. Now, of course, because of what I can do in the storylines, I can alter and muck with that as well. I can change that around a little bit. And this is what makes it so cool and so interesting and so very, very, very human. So when I took the very first story to Stephanie Smith, and I had this one phone call and this one phone number. So this is what really pisses off so many poor authors. They'll say, Steve, how many red slips did you get? And I say, my first question was, sorry, I'm a bit ignorant here. What's a red slip?
Yeah.
And I said, oh, your rejection slips. How many rejection slips did you get? None. And they go, right.
Okay, so you just tell them that you've been rejected by hundreds of publishers.
No, I just tell them the truth, and they get really pissed off.
Okay.
But anyway, I had that lovely occasion of being able to ring one person, one phone call, and I walked round and round the property for about 3 weeks, thinking, what the hell am I going to say to this woman to actually get the hook? Okay, the presentation, the bite, the pitch.
Yeah.
And I remembered that I had a girl whom I knew from school who was called Stephanie Smith, right?
Okay. So
I picked up the phone and said, hi, and I got put through to her, and I said, this is Steve Wheeler here. Were you my neighbour? No. Okay. but the rapport had been established, and a bit over an hour later I got off the phone and Steph had actually said to me, if you can give me 3 stories, right, you've got to promise me three books, you will probably get a contract. Now I want to see the first manuscript.
Which you didn't have.
Oh no, I had written it.
You had the first manuscript.
It was a horrible story. No,
Okay.
I'd written it. It had taken me a year to write.
Yeah.
And it was called A Fury of Aces.
Yeah.
And then it was called. It had another lovely name. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, she called back about 3 weeks later, and she said, "Okay, your writing style is really, really scary." But you have a fantastic storyline. Now, I want it. We're going to sign you to a contract. Okay, and subsequently they did. And what it is, I took that first book, chopped it in half, completely rewrote it, and that turned itself into Burnt Ice and then Crystal Venom, the first 2 stories. Now, with Burnt Ice, is I apologise, humans. I apologise. Burnt Ice. Burnt Ice is okay. Okay, it's an okay story.
Oh, you apologize.
I'm
for
apologising
your story for anyone
because so
read
many
it.
people have read it and said, "Whoa, there's just so much stuff in here."
Is that where we're supposed to start with Burnt Ice?
If you're going to read them, read Burnt Ice first. Burnt Ice sets up all the worlds, sets up all the
one you're
technologies.
apologizing for.
I am apologising because
first.
I was learning how to write. Okay, I was learning how to write. So please bear with me. Crystal Venom was better.
Okay, good.
The third book was much better.
Okay.
Okay, and then the 4th book, Neutrino Inc., is actually. I'm pleased with it. I really like it. But of course, what the 4 books do is they create an overall story arc.
Okay.
Okay, and the story arc actually with Neutrino Inc. actually is.
Yeah, you keep
finishes.
referring to this. You haven't told them this is a
Yeah,
timeline.
this is a gigantic timeline. So when we decided that I'll bring the whole thing across to American film market, I went to my design group and said, guys, if we read what American film market is all about, they say, have 1 piece of paper. And so one of my excellent guys, Warren Elliott, came up with the idea of, he said, okay, we'll give them 1 piece of paper. And I said, mate, that would really, really upset everybody. And he said, no, look, this is how we're going to do it. And he came up with the plan. And then Rob Merrill from Denver and myself and Warren developed it.
Okay.
And we worked it right through. So what we've got now is we've got the QR codes behind each of the titles. We've got 10 movies which are mapped out.
Wow.
We've got 13 seasons of television which are mapped out.
Why would you do it as 10 movies? And is that the first route you're trying, or is it all TV?
It's a weave. It's a
TV
big,
and
long
movies.
weave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what I do when you're reading
That's
the book.
more than most movies ever last, though. Even the biggest franchises. 10 movies is a lot.
I know. It's audacious.
This is huge.
It's completely huge.
You're
I have been told in no uncertain terms that this product is the biggest of its type currently in the world.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
But I mean, if we look at Star Wars, we look at Star Trek, we look at all the other franchises, we look at the Marvel stuff, we look at everybody else. They're doing multiples, but they're doing multiples kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Right? So what we did is we pulled it all back and we said, okay, if we're going to do this, let's really fucking do this.
Okay.
Let's hook in and give them the big serve. And yes, it's utterly audacious. It's completely over the top. It's so much fun. It's a juggernaut. It's a roller coaster ride. It's all of those things. And the juggernaut is currently sitting on top of the hill. The handbrake is off. I'm at the driver's wheel, it's got a full head of steam, and it's a case of let go. Now what we've done is, you see we've got one there, one movie called Tentacle Lagoon. Now Tentacle Lagoon is a treatment and it's contemporary. That's one set like that.
Yeah.
And then we can jump back to Pera Atua, and Pera Atua is an origin story of the octopoids, who are sentient octopus. Because one thing that I learned really, really early when I started, because I'm fascinated by octopus, absolutely fascinated. But I was talking to Michael Shea, a fantastic biologist, marine biologist, and I learned from him that most of the cephalopods only live 18 months. And that's even the giants. You know, that's the giant squid, bigger than this room. They all only live 18 months. And I was with them in Auckland at Kelly Tarleton's, the marine, well, it's kind of it's a huge aquarium. It's fantastic, and I highly recommend anybody who gets to Auckland go to Kelly Tarleton's. It's brilliant. And also then go down to the one in Napier, which is also very, very good. And Michael showed me a tank, and the tank would have been about that big and maybe 700 millimetres in diameter. And there were about 15 little squid zooming around on the inside. And he said, 14 hours ago, I put in 800 baby squid. And these are the ones that are left. And he said, within a couple of hours, there'll be one left, because they will have eaten each other. And they've got these huge ferocious, and these absolutely ferocious eaters. And you've got the Humboldt squid, which is just absolutely devastatingly amazing. And then there's the giants as well. Now, they don't live past 18 months or up to 2 years, none of them. And I thought, okay, octopus, super intelligent, 9 brain structures, can figure out a problem just by seeing another octopus perform a task, and then got it back, instant. And any other octopus within the vicinity can also then pick up the same information. So you've got this extraordinary brain structure and this extraordinary way of actually interfacing with the world. Completely different physiology. And I thought, why 18 months? Why only breed once? If you've got a super creature like this, why is this creature evolved to only live this incredibly short amount of time? And then the penny dropped, and I thought, holy shit, what if it was a weapon? What if the cephalopods did actually run the world at one stage? What if they actually developed hominids to be their terrestrial servants? And that's the origin story, that's Pera Atua, where the humans, Homo sapiens sapiens, and the octopoids exist quite happily. And they took us to the stars.
We ever use their brain structure in combination with humans? Because you've said that, you know, we can map the entire brain of a human. And if we can do that with a human, can we map an octopus brain? And
I don't know. I don't know if it's been done.
If you ever went there and tried to enhance the human brain with
octopoid, well, we don't know. Okay. I mean, that's the glorious thing of creating your own sandpit and actually setting to the right of it. Yeah. So what I did with Pera Atua was created an origin story where they actually had their own starships and they had actually been out to the stars. And of course, that's also in human society where the likes of the great Chinese fleet, you know, these enormous ships that went around the world and then were brought home, and the emperor thought, whoa, the world's far too big, brought all the ships back, brought all the crews back, burnt the ships, stored the knowledge, and never went out again. So what would happen if we actually looked at that same thing from that perspective? So then the stories are all linear, they all interwork. We've got 2 sets of crews, 2 sets of characters, and then the lovely part of it is because I am what I am, I've been building the craft as well.
Cool.
Plus the designs. So okay, so this is the very, very latest one. This is WASP, and this is actually in neutrino ink. And actually on the cover of Neutrino, mate, you'll actually see one of these ones with one of the whole engines being blown off and actually blown out the side. Because for me being me, and me being immensely tactile, what I can do with a model is put myself in the seat. Okay. Okay? I can see the weapons, I can see out through the cockpit, I can see the structure around me. If I'm doing a walk around the craft, you know, doing a pre-flight, I can actually take note of where the engines are, where the weapon systems are, where the fuel ports are, where the ammunition hatches are, and so on and so on and so on.
Do these
and so on.
rotate?
Yep, they all, and I mean that's one of the things of being a complete,
so we can like
complete nut bar.
Change any directions based on a wind.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, and of course, as you've probably seen on the Instagram feed, there's a great friend of mine who actually did a little bit of work and actually got started to get them articulated and what have you. Wow. Margie did a fabulous big job. I mean, she just stood at our kitchen table with camera and just went zap, 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 zap. Great. So, but the thing is that with this sort of stuff, is then I can write and I've become a much, much better writer.
Is this your original design?
Yeah.
Okay.
Complete nut bar, see?
No, that's great.
So I make the craft,
pretty cool.
and then I've got this fantastic design that's spread around the world. Alex J. Brady in England, Graham Nightingale also in England who does all the photoshops, Rob Merrill over in Colorado who's done a huge amount of the work, Tom and a bunch of the other guys, Anarchy, you know, it's fabulous people who've made a tremendous contribution to the thing. Chelsea and Daniel and a few who have given me designs but have said, please.
This is for interstellar travel, or just
this is atmospheric. Okay. Okay, but we've got the spaceships, which kind of really pisses me off.
Okay.
Okay. You get these designers and they come up with these beautiful designs and you think, dude, look, this is an interstellar ship. Yes. Well, how the fuck are you going to create gravity on it?
Oh, right. So
we've got a great device for creating gravity. Okay, what is it?
Magic.
Exactly. I don't do magic. Good. I just don't do fucking magic, right? I don't do matter transportation. Yeah. Right? I don't do a whole bunch of things. Why? Because I've got a truly amazing group of plasma fusion scientists, cool, nuclear physicists, biologists, biomechanicists, doctors, dentists. Yeah. Structural engineers, aeronautical engineers, cool, metallurgists. There's a fantastic group of people spread all around the world who I can ring up and say, hey, I've got an idea. Yeah. Da, 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 da. No, it's not going to work. Okay, thanks. Or, yeah, Steve, actually, it could work. It is so far out in the bounds at the moment of what may be possible, but we think that you could actually do it. Cool. Now, write it up and send it to us. And I'll write it up and send it out, and these guys will look at it and say, okay, because what I need you, and you guys, as the readers, if I'm talking about anti-gravity, right? And yes, I can make it work. Have we got the physics to make it work yet? No. Cool. Have we got the materials to make it work yet? No. But I can show you how to make it work. Yeah. Right? And it's a very old technology. It's just spinning dizzy. I mean, that was invented way back in the 1950s. But it's structured and reworked and rechecked. And because what I need you to do as the reader is read through an explanation of a mechanic working on an anti-gravity bike, right? And he's working his way down through the structures of materials, and then into when the material or the physicalities are actually starting to turn into energy, and into the energy shells, getting further and further down until they get to some super packed, super hard matter, say maybe a pack of neutrinos or something similar, or packets of packed neutrons. So you've got a thing which is microscopically small and weighs 1,000 tonne, right? But that's then spinning at very, very close to the speed of light, and it's being nudged around. And of course, it's being nudged around, it's pulling the rest of the shell with it, so you get anti-gravity. Now, I need you as the reader, and you guys as the readers, to actually just read straight through that. I don't want you to go, brain, wet brain, no, I can't see that. And because if you say, I can't see that, I've just lost you, right? And then I'm going to work really, really, really hard to get you back. No, it's not happening. Not happening. I need you to just blast through that, not even give it a single thought. So, hey, that's cool. Did I see that?
Cool, that it's worked out though.
Because that's the part of it, and that's the cool thing of being a complete fruitcake, right? Because I can do that sort of stuff, have some fun with it, and of course this is what a lot of the industry is saying, and the industry is saying a Fury Races will succeed because it's utterly independent. No studio has been breathing down my mud hole. Nobody's been saying, oh, you can't do this, you can't do this, blah, 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 blah. I've done it. The team and I have done it. We've actually achieved what I wanted to achieve. And now, let's see what happens. Because the coolest part is, the brutal part of it is, I'm a dead man walking. And a dead man walking is the most scary person in the room because he doesn't give a damn. It's not that I don't care, because I do care, and I care deeply about what I've done, and I care deeply about what myself and my fantastic crew have actually achieved. Because we have to re-establish village, and we have to re-establish actual caring for each other, and this structure will actually allow that to happen. And we've even gone to stage of we've created banking structures, trading structures for the 21st century, and a whole bunch of stuff. So we've actually completed everything.
But we didn't give up money.
No. But we haven't given up on people either, because that's what the current structure has done. The current paradigm in the world has given up on people and just said it's all about money. No, it's got to be interwoven. It's got to be rewoven back together again. And it's knowledge is what is the most valuable. You come up with a new structure, a new physiology, a new methodology, even a new invention, and the administration and the games will actually pay you in credits for that piece of information. But the thing is with this is that, will it happen? Yes, it is going to go ahead. All I've got to do is get in front of the major studios here, or even just one producer whom I really, really want to work with, get them to do likes of Tentacle Lagoon, because it's simple, it's a lovely story, ticks all the boxes, and could probably be done for under 10 million. Okay, get that out there, and then just let the whole thing grow organically, because I'm hugely into organic. I'm hugely into allowing things to be and then allowing things to just naturally grow. We don't have to do all of this in one hit. We've parcelled it all up and we've laid out all the structures. And there's in excess of 1,200 finished designs, right? From aircraft, ships, spaceships, suits, physical structures, buildings, everything. We've done all that work. So now we've just got to literally get in front of those big boys and girls and say, hey, down here. And smile very politely and then say, oh, does that throw us a bit of toast.
Have your books been done as audiobooks? Have you done that?
No, but what I did with HarperCollins is I actually applied to them, and I've got the rights to produce all those.
Oh.
Okay,
cool.
So I own all that as well.
Yeah.
And when I signed the contract with them, I put a very, very large black line through all their ownership of all the downstream stuff. Yeah. So they have only got the printed word. I own everything else.
Great.
Which was very, very funny, has been very funny on 3 occasions so far, because HarperCollins have come whistling back when I started to produce this stuff and said, hey, fantastic, Steve, look, we're going to so enjoy marketing this with you. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. Go back and refer to your contract. You haven't got any of this. And I deliberately did that way back then because I knew that this is where it's going to go.
Yeah.
And it's audacious. It's completely off the wall. But by actually taking control myself and saying, no, I'm going to do this. It's given me this fantastic series of controls. So there's an Utu out there, is it?
It's Halloween.
Oh, it's Halloween.
It's that Halloween party that we saw.
Here's a fun thing.
Yeah.
See the rock? Okay. Everything I remember. This is one of my t-shirts from when I worked on Hobbit. I was the weapon maker on Hobbit. I made this ring, finished this just last week. So because I wanted to be able to talk, everything I have on me, I wanted to actually start a conversation. This, as you've probably seen and already recognised, is the monolith from 2001. Okay, perfectly replicated. But the stone was a piece of serpentine, okay, semi-precious, that I picked up out of the Terramacau River on the west coast, South Island, when I was about 15, and it's been living under my workbench ever since. Okay, so I thought, right.
Perfect.
So my mate Mac McKinnon cut it, made up the mounting for it, and we wanted that sort of airframe lock to the holder, and yeah, and so it's just another little conversation. And when I go to a film market, the American film market, I'm taking this box with the scroll, and the scroll is going to be in a 32,500-year-old piece of carry.
Wow.
Okay. It's got a piece of parva shell on the end of it. Okay, and there's the scroll rolled up inside. So it's all got to tell a story, and fundamentally, before everything else, that is what I am.
Storyteller.
I'm a storyteller. Not just bullshit, but a storyteller. Yeah, it's good fun.
Did you make the box? And
I made the crate. I mean, the crate's also out of the ancient carry.
Yeah.
And I wanted that sort of World War II look, or when they were transporting aircraft, particularly down into the Pacific on the ships. They'd pull the wings off, pull the top off, and actually build them into a wooden crate. And actually that's what I wanted. So when I'm walking around at the market, I want you to be able to look in through the slats and see little coloration and what have you inside, and say, what do you got in the box?
Sounds fun. Well, I'm sure we have some questions, so I don't want to
Please,
take your time.
shoot, guys.
Do we have any questions for Steve? Anything about his universe? Yes, Eli?
But were you?
No,
Or-
you can.
never mind.
You're good.
You've worked with Weta Workshops, right?
Correct.
Why don't you want to have an American movie production, or because I was thinking that's a good thing to stick with. Maybe.
They're not big enough.
You've been in with it.
They're not big enough.
They're not big.
Okay, let's be brutally honest about this.
Okay.
It's the prophet in his own land. Okay, we all understand that. The prophet's got to go somewhere else to be recognised in the homeland, and that's just a brutal reality. We have a thing in New Zealand which is called the tall poppy syndrome.
Yeah.
Okay, it's vicious, it's nasty, it's underhand, and it's a reality. It is what it is.
What is the tall poppy?
The tall poppy syndrome is that if you stick your head over the parapets, you're liable to get it whopped off. It is what it is. And apart from that, if I work this to the next stage, I mean, what has it got? It's got me here. It's got me talking to you guys. One of the most august bodies of its kind in the world. How cool is that?
Then the other thing I was going to mention is that, if this is a huge project, what are you talking about? Like 20 films, 30 films,
10.
something like that? 10.
10 films, 13 seasons of television, 3 game structures, banking and trading structures, all the various bits and pieces.
It would have to be like the American James Bond, and I'm sure someone would love to take that up.
It'd be fun.
So
It'd be fun. But I mean, that's the aspect of the glory of this thing is that this is now taking me around the world. This is introducing me to really, really cool people. This is where I'm actually starting to have some great fun with this whole thing. One of my you've all heard of the story of the world's fastest Indian? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Burt Munro. He was in his 60s before he came to the United States. I too am now in my 60s, and this is the first time I've come to the United States. Yay!
Well, welcome. So
Thank
this
you
is
very
day 2 in the
This is day 2 in the US.
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean,
exciting.
it's like I went into the fantastic coffee. I've had marvellous welcomes from everywhere I've gone. I went into this brilliant, classic American barbershop this morning. Got my hair trimmed. I know the first time. It's been fantastic. But this is what this thing is doing. Mm-hmm. This is what this thing is allowing. It's good fun. It's great fun.
Nick, you had a question?
Yes. You said you could do this first film in this plan for maybe 10 million because you've got a lot of the design stuff already done.
Yeah.
Where would it go from there if that actually works?
Then it evolves. Then we'd probably set to and start assembling the serious team, and then we'd probably bring out the first series of the television. Because television, of course, is a fantastic thing because all that stuff is morphing. Now, a thing about the movie and the TV industry. If we got this and we set up a whole bunch of joint productions between here and New Zealand, here, Hawaii, here, Hong Kong, here, Hong Kong, Hawaii, New Zealand, maybe European as well, the structure could be basically allowed to morph and evolve. And the really, really cool part of it is that we create a family of very, very good production teams. Because this is a problem in the current movie industry, is that you get a team of people together, it's dog eat dog, it's structured so that you get in there, you get the job done as fast as possible, and you get out. But TV is different, because with TV, you're getting a family group together, and they become what we call in our country whānau. And whānau is family, right? You look after each other, you look out for each other, because you know you're going to be working together for a couple of 3 years. So why not morph the two together and have basically 15 years of continuous production? That's what this is all about. And of course what that then does, it allows me as an associate producer to assemble a fantastic group of people and to look after them. You know, to actually create family and produce some fantastic product and knock it out all around the world and have seriously good fun with it. Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. That's what I want to do. That's what I really want to do. Yeah.
So for those of us interested in these stories now, where they're at, we can read your books.
Jump online. Mm-hmm. Jump online. Amazon's got them, of course. Mm-hmm. And likes a book depository have got them. There's a very few hard copies still floating around. I have to recode Neutrino ink so it's on print on demand. I meant to do that before I came up. I will do that. Another wee job to do. But basically start with burnt ice and then work your way through. Because you guys who haven't read the stuff are in a fantastic position. You really, really, really are. Because with the 4 stories now published, you've got the whole arc. Okay? Because with Neutrino ink, it finishes off a whole lot of stuff. It tidies up a whole lot of loose ends. It gives you the explanations of why things happened the way they did. It gives you the forward stuff, and it allows me as the author to then expand up on it and take the things in all sorts of different directions. And that's what making it really, really fun. But for you as the readers, the story is pretty much complete. And that's a really, really cool thing. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but there's nothing worth of actually picking up a book and then having to wait for 5 years for the idiot author right, to give you the explanations, and it's like, really? But no, it makes it good fun. Yeah.
Did we have any other questions? Yes, Steve?
Yeah, I love it. I have 2 points here. One is the huge disappointment of another very large project by Jodorowsky with Dune. He's made a movie, okay? He has a fantastic, the whole book story, Giraud, with all the costumes, and then it disappeared. Is there anything you can learn out of that?
Oh,
where
look, there's a series of realities. One of them is nothing's new. There's nothing new on the planet. I'm a knife and swordsmith. I mean, that's how I actually make my living. I make my living making knives and swords. I've made
I wish I had known that.
about 7,000 of them so far, spread all over the world.
Yeah,
Right.
if I had known that, my fiance is a big knife person. Could have got a knife from you.
Birthdays next,
Yeah.
next birthday. We'll work that out. I built a knife called the Pumpkin Killer. Right? Great knife. Perfect knife for killing pumpkins. Short blade, wide, lovely sweep, big munty handle on it. Beautiful, elegant, simple knife. Okay? Been producing it now for about 15 years. Went to a party, great friends, 50th. Gave them one. It's about 5 years ago. And an elderly gentleman said, "You designed that one, Steve?" I said, "Yes, I did." We used exactly that knife for flensing seals 75 years ago. Right? There ain't nothing new. So I hear what you're saying. And I understand exactly what you're saying. And that's why my attitude is a dead man walking. I've got nothing to lose, everything to gain. Is this my life? No. We've just finished a 2-minute presentation for the market. The 2-minute video, yeah, it's just come out. And my design crew said, right, we're going to get you in front of the camera and we're going to do this and we're going to do that and blah, 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 blah. And I said, no, we're not. No, we're not doing any of that. I haven't got 50 grand to spend on it. I haven't got 50 bucks to spend on it. This is what we're going to do. And I went to a fantastic composer whom I've worked with and said, Mike, can we alter one of your pieces of music down to 2 minutes? And Mike said, sure, it'll cost you. I paid him. And we did it with questions. So on the top of the screen, there's no voiceover at all, none, just the music. And questions. And the questions are the likes of, are we weaponized apes? And if we fight with demons and angels, are we their equals? And just a whole series of questions. And the imagery coming through, boom, 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 to the music. And it's just fantastic. And this is the cool bit. It makes me weep every time I see that. I literally cry. Because it doesn't matter to me as the creator. It doesn't matter to me as the creator if I take this to American film market and they say, sorry boo, you haven't got a shit show in hell. There's the door. It doesn't matter because I've done it. Because I've achieved what I actually set out to achieve. It's done. There's an aspect that a lot of people as authors don't understand. And that is that I can't patent any of this stuff. I can't protect it. It's simply not possible because any production house could take anything that I've written, alter it by 7%, and it's theirs, right? So there's no point. But it's a gift And it's a gift from me as the creator to you as the reader and to you as the world. It's my attempt to put something right. I'm an ex-policeman. I did 7 years as a frontline cop, right, as a young man. I did 14 years in the military. I've got the scars and the bullet holes to prove it. I've had a fantastic life. I've done things that most people would just shake their heads and say, shit, no, I'm not even going to attempt that. I've been, I've been almost killed so many times. But I'm still here. And I've done this. Me and my fantastic crew, and with the support of my marvellous family, and Liz, and Luke, and Charlotte, and the Dine family, and the Wheeler family, we've done this. And I've done this, and it's complete. And I don't have to do any more. Will I do more? Of course I will, because I love it.
The other question I have is the $10 million for the first movie. I mean, when I see the science fiction movie today, there is a lot of special effects, and it's costly.
Yeah, I
That
know.
can be done.
So how?
For 5,
But for
10.
$10 million, can you do something which is
Yeah.
The movie was made on $5 million, but we're gonna have to take this conversation and talk after the meeting because
Okay.
we're gonna have to set up for our next meeting. But I really appreciate the questions and really
Thank
appreciate
you.
having you here, Steve.
Oh,
It was great.
marvelous.
So
Marvelous. Thank you very
thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you.